This is the first, last time we should ever be mentioning Scottie Pippen's name in the same breath as Isiah Thomas. First off, they're not even the same caliber of player. One has nerves of steel, who's a franchise player and a leader. The other is Scottie Pippen. Only people in Chicago view Scottie Pippen as a superstar mega player, which he was not. But people in Chicago suffer from this thing called delusion. Whatever the media tell them in Chicago, they believe it. So for all the people around the globe who don't know how bad Chicago news could be, when they promote something, they're the best at promoting. They will sell you a can of goods. Players you wouldn't even think about on the face of this planet, Chicago would think was great, was outstanding, because they played on the Bulls. You know, maybe it's like that in every city, but definitely here in Chicago, there's a lot of players that were considered to be bums across the rest of the ocean or the state lines that people here adored. And they're like, what are y'all going crazy for? This is just B.J. Armstrong. Why would we remember him? But let's go to how all this started. Once again, we go to the beginning. Now, Scottie Pippen, of course, played in a small college in Arkansas. He went to Central Arkansas University. And he was poor. Family didn't support his basketball career because they couldn't afford it. Scottie was broke. He really didn't have any clothes too much. So he was only going to go to school for a little while. You know, hopefully he'll attract a major university and get a scholarship. But Scottie's problem was, you know, he was not only just poor, he just didn't have a lot of focus on schoolwork activities. And his roommate happened to take a liking to him. And his roommate was this rich kid's family, the Worthingtons, were very powerful people, friends of the Clintons. Got caught up in the little Whitewater scandal, but before then they were loaded with money. And their son is, let me say, he's the kind of dog that fancy other dogs. Like, I guess you could say he was homosexual. And Scottie was his roommate. And he was taking care of Scottie. Whatever he wanted, whatever he needed, Brent took care of. Brent paid his tuition. Allegedly, Brent, you know, bought him clothes. They made home videos together, allegedly. And, you know, he gave him anything he needed. And then once, you know, they fell on hard times, and Scottie was doing well and made it to the NBA and all this stuff, and he asked Scottie for a little bit of money, a little less than $1,000. Scottie didn't want to do it and didn't want to, yelled at him, told him to quit harassing him. And this guy was trying to sell the story, and, you know, allegedly Pippen been paying money to keep this thing quiet. Now, this would explain a lot. He's always been bottled up. He's always been timid. And he's always like playing with a kid with a ball fist who couldn't deal with pressure. And it hindered him from becoming one of the greatest players of all time. He developed his game, but first watching him play was tragic because he would lose the ball almost every time and look for a foul and just would let the ball go as soon as somebody get near him. And then people realized he was mentally weak, wasn't a strong player. So Michael Jordan, the rest of the Bulls, worked on building up Scottie's confidence. And as more as his confidence grew, he started to get some arrogance about himself. And I guess that was part of the therapy he was going through. Now, when he first met Isiah Thomas, he saw Isiah, they played the Bulls. Isiah lit him up for like 30 plus points. And the Pistons win, of course. Once this happened, and Scottie Pippen was like, man, that guy's great, man. And Isiah, he's as advertised. He had no problems with Isiah Thomas. None. Then when they go to the playoffs and lose to the Pistons the first time, no problems with Isiah Thomas. He just didn't like the Pistons altogether. Isiah Thomas became president of the basketball union of the NBA. Like Oscar Robertson and all the people before him, this was a sense of honor that the players had somebody who was looking out for their interests in basketball. And Isiah Thomas had that role because not only was he intelligent on the court, he was intelligent off the court as well. And Scottie Pippen resented him because he was jealous. He was jealous of the Pistons' success. He was jealous of Isiah Thomas. Isiah's getting all of this. Michael's getting all of it. Nothing was for Scottie. As you end up seeing with his jealousy of Michael Jordan, which I'll get to at another time because a lot of people don't know the whole story. So Scottie Pippen wanted to make himself part of the story when he had nothing to do with Isiah Thomas not being on the Dream Team. Okay, because first of all, Scottie Pippen shouldn't even have been there. That's the main thing. Scottie Pippen should have never been on the Dream Team. And people are going to say, Scottie did well in the Dream Team. It's not that. It's a lot of people that would have done well on the Dream Team. Dennis Rodman would have done well on the Dream Team. Mark Aguirre would have done well on the Dream Team. Bill Lambert would have done well on the Dream Team. So it ain't about who's going to do what on the Dream Team. It was about who should be there and who shouldn't have been there. Scottie Pippen had no business being in there. He hadn't paid any dues. He had just become a good basketball player just the year prior. So he's a two-time All-Star with one NBA championship going to the Dream Team. Are you serious? Dominique Wilkins, who should have been there ahead of him, who's been averaging 28 and 25 points a game, giving you 9 rebounds plus he gonna throw you 4 assists. That's like Pippen numbers. Matter of fact, they better than Pippen's numbers. And he didn't go? James Worthy, Big Game James, who just came out of the NBA Finals, he didn't go? Wasn't like he wasn't scoring points. He didn't go? You ain't gonna pay homage to him? He won 3 NBA championships. He didn't go. 8-time All-Star. He didn't go. But Scottie Pippen went. So let's be honest. Why was he there? Michael Jordan put him there. You don't need a rocket scientist to figure that out. And every time they played the Bulls, Scottie was the main one crying. He was the main one complaining, pushing and shoving and whining to the refs. He was one of the main just simpletons on the court. So he kept getting punked because he was mentally weak. He the one backed out with the migraine headache. Ever since the migraine headache incident and how it got all blown up and when they got put out the playoffs, that was it. The whole city turned against Scottie Pippen. We got to trade Pippen. He's weak. All of a sudden, he hates Isiah Thomas. I hate him. I can't stand Isiah Thomas. Isiah Thomas ain't got nothing to do with you being weak. That's you. You're weak. And then, like I said, he's jealous because there's no place for him in the league. They put him on TV. The Bulls try to give him a little something. Like, let's get something back to Scottie. But this is a team that didn't want Scottie Pippen no more. He signed a long-term contract. Because at that time, when he signed that deal that was like 7 years, 6 years, when he signed it, he was a bum. That was the most money he thought. He was like, man, at least I'll be protected and be in the league still. Because he didn't believe in himself. So he signed a long-term suicide deal. And he mad because the Bulls wouldn't sit down and renegotiate with him because he got better. They like, we don't have to. We got you on the contract. Why would we need to do that? We don't have to do any of it. So he was bitter, playing all those years for the Bulls and wasn't making any money. So this is the type of person Scottie Pippen is. He was playing jealous, hateful towards everybody else. And then he wants to choose Isiah Thomas as the person that he can attack. And I don't like him. I ain't like Lambeer. I ain't like none of them. They don't care. Who are you? You Scottie Pippen. You was Michael Jordan's puppet. Jordan had somebody else to give the ball to while he get in position, and you better give him the ball. What big game has Scottie Pippen won? I can't think of any. Even during that series with the Pistons, I couldn't think of no big game Scottie was dominating. And he was the most important part of the game. Scottie was a good ball handler, and he could pass the ball around, yes. He was a good defender. I give him that because of his length and everything else. But he could mentally be taken out of the game. He's not a person that can lead you to a championship. He's not mentally strong. He's a guy that can be a good addition to someone else that's great. That's all Scottie Pippen is and was. And a lot of that credit was taken that he got should have went to Horace Grant. As you saw, when Michael Jordan left and they still had their core unit, they were able to still win games, win 55 games to go to the second round. And Scottie got a lot of the praise, but the real praise was Horace Grant. And that's why he got a big contract and left the Bulls, because he knew where to go get his money. He wasn't finna stick around there. He went to Orlando, got his big contract, and was out the door. And immediately they felt the absence of Horace Grant the very next season. Even with Michael Jordan back, they were no match for Orlando because they didn't have a power forward. You couldn't have Corey Blunt guard no Horace Grant. It made a tremendous difference. And that's why they went to get Dennis. a Piston. So Scottie Pippen isn't on Isiah Thomas's level. And then when the announcement was made, talking about I didn't want to play with him, and so didn't want to, I wouldn't have played on the team if he was on it. Scottie Pippen, please. You would have played just like you played on the All-Star team. You would have played on anything with Isiah Thomas. For you to be invited into the room where a conversation was happening involving Michael Jordan, Isiah Thomas, and Barkley. So the fact that you would be invited for something like that, you should be thankful. A weak-minded player like that, who's always beating up on lesser people, getting into fist fights with people he's 10 times their size because he's angry and bitter. Every arrest Scottie Pippen get, every little fight he beating up somebody that's like 110 pounds. He ain't never step up to John Starks. You ain't never step up to the Knicks. You ain't never step up to nobody. And everybody like, oh, he got over that fear from the Pistons. Oh, really? Because I remember the Knicks punking him the very next season. X-Man was all in his head. He was scared of Xavier McDaniel. Michael Jordan got to stick up for him. Mike always had to cover for you. So that's about all I want to say about that. I mean, it's really all what it is. You know, Isiah Thomas is a, best player to ever play the game. So, hey, what can I tell you?